Good evening, Ayushi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, it's afternoon. Sorry. Good afternoon.
No, ma'am, I didn't hear you actually at first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have counseling psychologist today, not clinical.
Oh, wonderful.
Did you speak to your mom yesterday?
No, ma'am.
What happened?
Ma'am, I keep forgetting actually. My problem.
Make sticky notes.
I just put a timer on my phone. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone, for the session on counseling psychology. I'm sharing a list, a Google form for the questions. You can add your questions in the list, which the panelist will answer. Has everyone received the chat? Google form? Good.
Yes.
Good, good. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you for today's first episode of Career Journeys, Real World, Real Stories. And in a couple of minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, Dr. Meera is joining us. And before she joins, or even before we start the session, would each of one would like to share a word or two about you? You can unmute yourself. You can share the place you have joined from. Are you a student or a parent? Your name?
Hello everyone, my name is Deepika. I'm from Bangalore and I'm a parent of 2.5-year-old.
Welcome, Deepika, to the session.
Thank you.
We have Ayushi, Dhruv, Jui, and Meeta, ma'am.
Yes, I am Ayushi Vasudev. I am a grade 11 student from Navi Mumbai. Glad to be here.
Welcome to the session, Ayushi. Dhruv, you want to share something?
My name is Dhruv BK. I'm a student of class 12th. I'm 18 years old.
Welcome to the session, Dhruv. We have Dr. Meera entering the room. Welcome to the session, ma'am.
My name is Tanay. I'm in grade 10. I'm 15 years old.
Welcome to the session, Tane. Welcome to the session, ma'am. I'll put you on the spotlight.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
everyone,
good.
I will welcome Abhimeera ma'am for the session. And I would like to say a few things and share something about ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Ma'am, may I have the permission to introduce you, or you want to introduce yourself?
No. Sure. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So today we are honored to have with us Dr. Meera. She is a distinguished counseling psychologist who brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our virtual sessions today. Dr. Meera holds a doctorate in psychology from KEISIE University in South Korea, specializing in exploratory study about client satisfaction and DMIT, quantum mind science. Her commitment to understanding and enhancing client experience is evident in her rigorous academic pursuit. In addition to her academic achievements, Dr. Meera has undergone extensive training in various therapeutic modalities and holistic approaches. She received Jiva Career Guidance from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, further enriching her understanding of the career counseling. Further, Dr. Meera is well versed in practices such as transcendental meditation, pranic healing, personal engineering by Isha Foundation, and heartfulness meditation by Daji Shah. Her dedication to holistic well-being and personal growth is truly commendable. Thank you for being over here. Moreover, she is a certified practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming NLP from the School of Excellence in Bangalore, accredited by American Board of NLP. Dr. Meera's expertise in NLP enables her to effectively empower individuals to achieve their goals and overcome challenges. Dr. Meera's professional journey also includes certification in Reiki, Suzhou, dermatographics, consultancy, showcasing her diverse skill set and commitment to providing comprehensive support to her clients. Additionally, she has completed prestigious educational programs such as Cambridge International Diploma for Teachers and Trainers and Foundation Course on Education for Children with Learning Disabilities from RCI, demonstrating her dedication to inclusive education and support for diverse learners. With a master's degree in pure chemistry and a background in education with the MEd, Dr. Meera brings a unique blend of scientific understanding and pedagogical expertise to her practice. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Meera, whose insights and guidance will enrich our discussion today. So, ma'am, it's over to you now. And we would like you to share something
Sure.
you have for us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sachi. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to actually be with, all of you here. I think we have.
Just one, your voice is slightly low. Is it only at my end?
Yeah, am I audible? Am I audible now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Now it's better?
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you,
okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I think we have students here, right?
Yes, most of them are students.
Most of them are students. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, right? So basically all of you here want to pursue psychology. Is it something that you are interested in?
Put thumbs up if you want. Come on, participate.
Yeah, you're interested in psychology, or what I'll do is, if all of you can just give me a, introduction. Yes, Jaswinder?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to know each of you what you're doing, and see, regarding psychology, there are a lot of opportunities, but then it also depends upon whether you are, what is the interest level and the aptitude level of how do you, or why do you want to pursue psychology, okay? So before I start, it would be great if each of you can just introduce yourself and then tell me what is your thought process about your profession and how do you want to move forward and what is in your mind regarding pursuing a career of your choice, of your passion. So once I get that, then yes, it'll be the right thing for me. Then I'll be able to help you out. Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's good enough. Yeah. So maybe I can just call the names out and you can unmute and speak about, and also you can also say, ask your doubts. Okay. So what do you want to know? What is it that you want to get from this particular session? And whatever is there in my knowledge and with regard to my experience of being in this field, definitely I'll be very happy to share. So before that, since we have very few people here, it is better to know exactly from you what you want, right? So then I can help you there.
Dhruv
So
and
Deepika,
Ayush,
you would like to start? Yeah, Sachi.
do you want to go ahead first?
Yeah, if you want, I can call the names that I see here and then they can unmute and sort of speak, if that's okay. Yeah, Deepika, are you okay to start?
Yes. So I'm also a career counselor like Sachi, and what I have heard from students is psychology. People are still pursuing, going to psychologist as a taboo. Because the mental health awareness is something which is still not present in. It is gaining awareness, but then I feel some of the students are still hesitant to take psychology as a career because they feel they won't be getting any patients because obviously there is a need, but they don't understand that there is a need and they should go for it. So
Yes.
my question is, what would you be telling to these students who are interested but they still have a doubt
They
about
haven't.
pursuing?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Deepika. Yeah, so Tanay, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Tanay. So if you can just introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing and then what are your questions or what is it that you would like to ask?
So my name is Tanay. I am currently studying in grade 10. I would like to pursue psychology so that I can help help other people.
Okay.
So my question right now is that if psychology
Continue, Tanit.
Yeah, go ahead. I
Yes.
can hear you. You have a confusion if psychology is going to help you make money,
No, it's
Ah.
not like that.
or is it a lucrative career? Lucrative career means like, will I be able to sustain
No.
only being a psychologist?
My question is that is psychology a proper career for students, those who want to pursue proper psychology? Proper.
A very good question.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that,
Thank you
Tanit.
for sharing. Yeah. Ayushi?
Good afternoon. My name is Ayushi Vasudev. I am a grade 11 student from Navi Mumbai and I may choose this career. I am still confused. So I'm here to gain knowledge about psychology and my questions are related to this field. First, I would like to know what are the advantages and disadvantages that one have when they enter this field?
Okay. Sure. I got that. Anything else? Anything else? Ayushi?
Ma'am, I will think and let you know.
Okay. You're right now in the 11th. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Dhruv?
Hello, my name is Dhruv M.Sc. I am a student in 12th grade. I want to know what are the biggest challenges that you face in your profession?
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges in taking psychology as a profession?
Yeah.
Okay. But you like psychology?
Yeah.
Are you learning that right now in the 12th? You have any subject called psychology in the 12th right
Yeah,
now?
I chose psychology since 11th and I've been studying it for the past 2 years.
Okay. So apart from that, what are the other subjects? Is it commerce subjects that you're studying?
Yeah, I do have a business management and then computer science and all that.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Sanjana is there?
Yeah, Sanjana is there. And then Tanvi is also there.
Yeah. Sanjana?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, you can tell me.
Yes, ma'am. And what are the skills required to be a psychologist? And
What are you
what
doing
can
now? What are you into now?
I'm 11th standard.
You're in the 11th grade. What have you taken?
Computer science group, ma'am.
Computer science.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, computer science with math, physics, and chemistry, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. And you like psychology?
Yes, ma'am.
You like to take, you like the subject?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Got it. So same question, basically the same thing. Any other question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Tanvi?
Yes, I actually had a question.
I'm in my first year right now, and Sachi ma'am suggested me to pursue psychology. My question is that I've never dealt with psychology as a subject till 12th standard. So, if I were to pursue psychology, will I be able to study it? Will I face any challenges as I've never dealt with it?
Okay, fine. Thank
Tanvi,
you.
do you want to share your 11, 12 subjects?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11th and I had taken science PCB, but I did not have psychology as a subject.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think most of you are either in the 11th or 12th grade, and we have one, I think we have Tane who's in the 10th grade, right? Okay, so on the outset, what I would like to say is psychology is a great subject. But then first is we need to look at how interested we are in it, right? So would I be able to do this for life? Or if I do this for life, would it be really, would it make me very happy? And would it make me very fulfilled? Okay. So if you ask me, in my experience, psychology was a calling because I was actually an educationist. I was a principal of a school. My subject was chemistry. And I started my career as a +2 teacher. And then it is after 8, 9, 10 years after I became a principal that psychology came to me as a calling where I really wanted to do something beyond just being a principal or just being a teacher of a subject. And that completely changed my life also. And yeah, so it's a beautiful course to take if you really want to transform yourself and help transform others. Okay. So, and it's not meant for everyone. It's another thing. So it's not something that everyone can do, but it is one step close to divinity, I would say, because it is a huge responsibility also to help transform people. And it also calls for your own transformation. So that's how beautiful it is if you look at it. But then, yes, it has got its hardships because if you look at it from a financial point of view, like because whatever you want to work and whatever you want to do, you should get paid also, no? If you don't get paid, how long you will do it as a job, right? Now, especially for Tanay, Dhruv, now when you have your own families, whatever you're doing for passion, if it doesn't pay you, then definitely it is not easy to remain in that career. So from a career perspective, it's important to be highly equipped to create a reputation as a psychologist. Okay, so that's the, I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. It's that much work is needed. Like if you want to be a medical doctor, if you want to be a chartered accountant, they're all research-based subjects, no? You have to learn a lot. You have to commit 8 years to learning. Do you agree?
Yes.
You have to commit to 8 years of learning. It's not even chartered, even in commerce field, IAS, whatever it is, whatever you take as the most toughest courses are actually highly research oriented, and there's a lot of commitment because you have to rather marry that first and then get married to somebody else as a second option. Okay, because that kind of dedication is required. So even a psychologist will definitely need that kind of dedication because to create income also out of it will require a lot of research, learning, experience. And with experience, you become better. And the more you become better, people would come to you only. Okay. Now, looking at it from a course perspective, anybody who has completed any degree can do psychology in the PG level also. Okay, so as a career psychologist myself, I'm also a career psychologist from Tata Institute. So as a career psychologist as myself, normally you should look at all your potentials. Okay, are you very good in drawing? Are you a design person? Are you very good in computation? Are you very good in, sometimes you may like interior designing, fashion designing. Sometimes you may like to be an event planner. So there are so many other lucrative, courses which you may be also good at. Do you agree?
Yes.
You'll be good at it.
Yeah.
So first is to find out what are my highest potentials. Is my visual intelligence very high? Am I a very linguistic person? Means, am I very good in language? Am I already doing well in language? Am I already doing well in design area? That is, if I'm very good in drawing, painting, sculpting, art and craft, if I love colors, then I'm a visual person. So first is you have to identify your strengths, okay, as a human being, because it's not that you only one career is required. You can always do multiple careers depending on how it shows up in your life. Yeah, because I took chemistry. I was good in chemistry also. I was one of the best chemistry teachers in my time. And but I prefer to do something beyond that. After I nurtured myself as a good chemistry teacher, then I became more of a admin. Like I wanted to become the principal because I didn't like education system as such. So we have a problem in our education system as such, where we don't get to explore much of our potential. Do you agree? So that's the problem, why we get this confusion that what am I really good at? I don't know. So a person who's very good in design, a person who's extremely good in music, extremely good in dance. So these are all other careers which nobody will ask you to do up to until 12th standard, because those are all extracurricular. It's looked at as an extracurricular activity. But they are all very, very lucrative careers of its own. Then somebody who's very good in sports can do that also, right? So you can always pursue. There are so many courses that you can pursue after 12th, which is not based on your 12 subjects, isn't it? So many courses are there. So first is, it's not about your 12th grade marks or your 10th grade marks. It is about what are my potentials. Am I a visually high person? Am I a language oriented person? Am I a very scientific person? Do I love softwares? What is it that I really enjoy? What are my interests? And what are my aptitudes? Okay, you may be interested in something, but you may not have a good aptitude in it. Like somebody may be very interested in music, but then they may not be able to sing. So there are so many children who love music, but they can't sing. They want to sing, but they can't sing. When they sing, they can't excel in that. So they don't have the aptitude for that, right? Sometimes you may be very good at something, like you may have an aptitude for so many things, but like you have an aptitude for cooking. How many of you like cooking here? Cooking means cooking some certain things, yeah. So many of you may have an aptitude for cooking, but you wouldn't want to be a cook. You may like to cook certain dishes, right? But then you may not want to do it for life as a career. So it is not necessary that what you're very good at, you need to be interested in making it a career. And you may not, and what you're interested in, it may not be necessary that you're good at it. So interest is something, aptitude is something else. So what is potential? What I just want you to know is, potential is something that you're interested in and you are also good at it. You have interest also in it, and you know how to study it also. Like there are children who tell me, ma'am, I want to become a doctor. Why? Yeah, because it's such a good job to get recognized. But the problem is, man, I can't study. I don't like to sit and study. So can anybody who cannot sit and study become a doctor just because they're so interested in their job? They may talk about all the diseases, they may talk about all the problems, but they cannot sit and write an exam that it demands, because they are not academically oriented. So I want all of you sitting here to just look at, am I a very academically oriented person where I sit and study and I'm okay to write exam after exam and do well and learn? I'm ready to take that effort and I like doing that. It's not a problem for me. Or am I a person who just can't do that? A lot of practical things, creative things. That is my thing. There are these two ways of looking at it. So once you know that, then you have to choose accordingly a career where the course is not very tough, but the career is very good. It is a very enjoyable career, something which I really enjoy doing. Now, psychology is a career like that. To clear psychology course, I'm telling you, it's very easy. It's not like a medical doctor's course where it is very hard. You're literally clear so many papers. Psychology papers, normally nobody fails. You can clear it. Okay, you can clear it very easily. Then, not necessary you have to do degree psychology. You can do PG psychology and still become a good psychologist. So normally I recommend looking at 2 careers minimum. Take psychology as one of your careers, which you really want to pursue. and look at one more career that you would like to do. Maybe it is in the design field, maybe fashion designing or interior designing or music or dance or sports or management. It could be anything. Okay, because degree you will do only one, isn't it? Can you do more than one degree in your lifetime? Nobody would spend 6 years and all doing 2 to 3 degrees. So one degree, 3 years. Okay, so 3-year degree should be based on your potential. And I would say you can take psychology as a second career also and take degree something else, which is also your potential. So supposing you are a visual media person, you're very good in design, you're very good in web designing, you're a very good graphic designer, and you're this very creative person, then you can always do visual media, multimedia degree, 3 years. And you can open that option up because you get a career, you can anyway do a career in that as soon as you finish your degree. Similarly, event management, journalism, communication skills, all that is mass media communication. So mass media also is a very lucrative course to take because there are a lot of career opportunities in that. Advertising is there in visual media also. Okay, then marketing, branding, all that you will learn either in visual media, multimedia with regard to design. In mass media also you can learn the same thing. So there are a lot of such courses based on your interest that you can take in degree. And PG, you can take psychology. Okay, so PG, when you take psychology, you're not losing out on another career, because if you take degree psychology and PG psychology, then you can't do anything else, no? Then you can only go through that stream. Unless you are very clear that you are going to do only psychology in your life and you don't want to do anything else in your life. Okay, but at this space, ideally all of you are not very sure. So it is always better to look at what other potential do I really have that I can do for degree. Because see, I really feel I am very happy being a successful psychologist. I think I am successful in my own line, at least in my state. But that is not by doing degree psychology. That is not what I did. I did it at a much later age in my life, when I was about in my 30s. I took it as a calling. Okay, for me it was a calling. And then I started a center, and then I took my course, and then I took doctorate. So it was like 5 years I took again. Yeah, probably had I known that this is what I have to do, maybe I wouldn't have taken chemistry. I would have taken something else. Okay, maybe I would have taken a management course or something else and then taken psychology. But ideally, to become a very good psychologist, it's okay to start from PG. Because as a course, it is not tough. Okay, as a course, learning human behavior, learning human traits, human mind, human tendencies, the brain is all there is. So that if you are interested, every subject in psychology that you learn in PG is very interesting, because it is about us. It is about the human being and the human nature, right? And then of course it is all the theories, but it is all doable and it is not very difficult, and you can do very well in PG also. And PG is a level where apart from psychology, you can take more than one PGs, right? You can do an MBA, you can do psychology, you can do a couple of PGs. I have 3 PGs. I have done M.Sc chemistry, I have done M.Ed in education, and I have done MA psychology also. So PGs you can still do more, right? So when you do a PG psychology, you will actually know how good it is and how much you like it. But you also have a degree course which you can pursue as a career if you feel psychology is not something which is lucrative for you. Okay, so you should have multiple careers available. So if my recommendation is, unless you're very clear that you want to do only psychology and you want to become a doctorate. So what is the disadvantage of psychology, I would say, is that you have to take PhD. Okay, so after doing MA or MSc psychology, now in the recent times, MPhil is not even there. MPhil has been scrapped out. Earlier, MPhil was there, but right now, most of the universities have, even under the UGC, they are saying that MPhil is not required anymore, and you can directly do a PhD. So, to become a psychologist who is very effective, where people, take you seriously, it is important to clear a doctorate. Okay, so at least an international one or a normal UGC one, and from the Indian government. So once you become a doctorate is when then, yes, people will consider you seriously as a psychologist, and you can actually work with people. So the beauty about it is that psychology can be taken at a PG level. So you don't have to worry. You can take any other course before that and still do psychology at a PG level, not necessary to do in the degree level. Second is, but after you do MA, M.Sc, you can start your practice. It is not necessary that you need to do PhD. You can still start your practice. And if you're a very effective psychologist, even without PhD, people can be happy with you. Okay, if you are very effective. Second is, if you take PhD, you can charge more. The only thing is, when you have a doctorate, the good thing is you can always charge higher, because being a specialist in that and taking a doctorate, that niche is always separate from a normal psychologist who has not taken a doctorate. No, so that difference will be there. But otherwise, also the good thing is, as soon as you finish your PG in psychology, you can start practicing. You can do it from your home. You can keep a separate space for that. You can even do online and start earning money very easily. Okay, but the problem is how equipped you are. So in Indian education system, when we learn PG psychology, we may not learn therapies much. There are therapies or these coaching sessions that we should know. So that's the reason you can see all that Sachi read, like, doing pranic healing, or we should be able to be adept in learning different types of therapies after doing PG if you want to really pursue helping people. So PG is not enough from an exposure point of view, or from a practical point of view. It is very important to learn therapies. So there are these academies, like in Bangalore, there is Banjara Academy, and there are these separate institutes that teaches you separately therapy. So that also, the more you learn different types of therapy, like music therapy is there, art therapy is there, neuro-linguistic programming is there. So when we learn these things, we help people release their emotions. We help people come out of their problems using these therapeutic methods. So for that, that is an added learning. But that can be a 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, 6 months, like different types of courses. You have to keep learning and updating yourself, experiencing it on yourself, and then helping people. So then you become more and more effective as you move along. It's not like a medical doctor where you just learn that and then you're sitting in an OP and just giving medicines. That's not how psychology works. Okay, so mental health is something that is a very expansive thing. The more we learn about it, the more training you get, the more therapies you learn, the more you become better. But yes, this can be done after PG. So after you do PG, then you enter into different types of therapies. And we are open. I help a lot of young psychologists with the therapy module. So we are there to help you. We can also certify you, and you will be very, very effective. So people like us who are already in this field are helping other psychologists. So that is something that we can do after you do a basic degree. Basic degree means basic PG. Okay. Now there are different types of psychology. There is clinical psychology. There is counseling psychology. There is industrial psychology. There is forensic psychology. Okay. So there are clinical and counseling is the most common ones. So normally in most of the universities, either you can choose for clinical psychology in the PG level or counseling psychology. Then certain colleges also have organizational psychology, educational psychology, industrial psychology, forensic psychology. So these are the different terms that you will get to hear about psychology, the courses. So the difference is in the context. Where do you go and use these techniques? So if it is educational psychology, it is basically in schools and colleges, how to handle teachers, parents, and students and their problems. If it is clinical psychology, it is only mental patients, how you handle severe mental disorders. So ideally, you can work as a clinical psychologist in a mental hospital. You can also have your own practice. Okay, so clinical psychologists are the people who work along with psychiatrists to help people come out of their mental disorders, because there it is you learn abnormal psychology where there's a lot of mental health issue. So only clinical psychologists actually do that. Every other psychologist handle all normal people only. Okay, not actually mentally ill people. Now, if you ask me, I'm a counseling psychologist, basically because I didn't want to start with people who are mentally completely ill, I wanted to get them much before that. Because if you get them much before, it becomes easier to guide them and not allow them to go become mentally ill. So counseling psychology is more about getting people at the earlier stage where they are depressed or they're anxious or they are stressed out because of their problems in life. And it is more of a mentoring and more of using therapy rather than giving medicines. So there are two modalities. Giving medication is normally done by a psychiatrist, but a psychologist is the only person who will help people without medication. And that can be for the smallest of things. It can be for any problem that you have in your life. So the stigma has to be actually removed, because there's a lot of problems that people have which they can come to us and get help. You don't have to be mentally ill to come to a psychologist. You can just have a severe problem in your life which you can't solve, which we can definitely help you come out of. And at the same time, we also give life coaching sessions, like even communication skills, life empowerment, self-empowerment, personality development. All this is taken by psychologists only. Even psychologists do the same thing. Okay, so that is one thing where you develop yourself also. When you learn it, you develop yourself, and then you help your fellow beings to develop. So mostly what people take is either clinical. Now, clinical psychologists have to be RCI recognized. So a clinical psychologist is not called a clinical psychologist unless you finish either MPhil or PhD. That is only for a clinical psychologist. But okay, for any other psychologist, it is not necessary you have to do an MPhil or a PhD in order to be called as a psychologist. So that is one difference. Only clinical psychologists, because you have to work in a mental hospital, you have to, if you have to be called a clinical psychologist, you have to do minimum MPhil in a university which is RCI recognized. That is Rehabilitation Council of India. Rehabilitation Council of India approved psychologist you should be. So that you will get only when you do an MPhil, minimum MPhil. Otherwise, you can also go ahead and do a PhD. So a person who has taken doctorate in a clinical psychology will then be called a clinical psychologist. Otherwise, you will only be called as a consulting psychologist. Now, this is not mandatory for all the other types. That is, counseling psychology is easy. Actually, only clinical psychologists have to go a little more to really be one. But otherwise, every other psychology, like industrial psychology and organizational psychology, you can work with corporates. It's a very, very lucrative job. All the corporates require one organizational or industrial psychologist, where you will work alongside with the HR and you will help with the mental health of all the staff or employees in the company. And that's a very lucrative job. Okay, you get paid very well. So if you are in one of the IT sectors or, with KPMG or any of the TCS companies, they all will hire organizational psychologist or industrial psychologist, because that's for a corporate sector. So there you learn everything, managing corporates, time management, and, strategies to coping strategies to cope in a IT in any organization, and team building and all that. So you learn very different things, not basic psychology, but you learn things which is connected to an organization. So you can learn organizational psychology is a very lucrative course. That also you can do in the PG level, not necessary degree. Unless you want to do psychology itself, you can take degree also, but then I would suggest you can always look at one or two careers more. So organizational psychology is very lucrative because you can immediately get absorbed in a corporate and you can start working for a corporate. Forensic psychology is more to do with criminological department, that is with the FBI. So that is also a very specific niche. You can do that in the PG, not required to do in degree. You can do it in the PG. Forensic psychology is something which you can also take. That is for under the criminology department, where a lot of psychologists are required to understand from the fingerprints and all, from the analysis of the fingerprint or a hair, through the equipments, you will find out the psyche of a person and what will be the tendency of the of the criminal and what are the possibilities. So that is a forensic science, and there's forensic psychology, right? So that is again another, but these are all not there in all universities. They will be there in very few universities. Most of the universities that have psychology has either counseling or clinical. Counseling is the easiest because it is like you can handle anyone. A counseling psychologist can also go and ask for can also go for a corporate job where they can learn, HR. So after doing PG in counseling psychology, if you want, you can take an MBA or you can take a diploma in HR management, and you will do both these tasks quite easily in a corporate, and you can apply in a corporate as a as a psychologist or as a mentor to help the mental health of the staff there. So you will be made to take sessions, you will do one-on-one counseling sessions, you will do confidential sessions with people, and you can even do therapy with them. Okay, so as a psychologist, there are a lot of these options. Then one thing is you have an upper hand because you will be able to handle people very well. So you can be very good leader, you can take good leadership ability. So wherever you go, you can stand as a leader. So psychologists normally are very good at that because they can understand human beings, they can understand the feelings. Then you learn some therapy also. You can deal with people very easily, actually. And then you can pursue leadership. In wherever you go, you will actually be a true leader. You can actually pursue that. Okay. You can even be very alongside the CEO of a company because they will want you for everything. You will be a good decision maker also. So that way you guiding people, it's one of the best things to do. If that's so, especially you have to check whether you are a people oriented person. If you're a very person oriented, people oriented person, then yes, it's a very good job to do because learning it is actually not very difficult. The learning part of it is easy compared to medical doctor or CA or compared to those kind of courses. The learning part is not very difficult. The remaining, what is difficult is you willing to transform through different therapies. So when we enter, so that is all experiential, that is all practical. So the more we have practical exposure, you will be a very, very effective psychologist. Okay. It's not so difficult to be a good one if you're willing to change and if you're willing to learn these techniques. So it's a very good career if you're passionate about it. I would say it's one of the noble professions. Like you say, teaching, nursing, being a doctor. So similarly, mental health professional is a very, very noble profession, and it is a very gratifying profession. And definitely, if you're working in a corporate sector, you can do very well. And after that, once you're experienced, if you set up your own business, you can have your own business where you can be one of the best psychologists in the town, and you will get a lot of clients. It's not very difficult to get a lot of clients if you are very effective. So for that, people like us can help you because I've been in the industry for the last 11 years. And I have 2 centers. I have one in my place, that is Cochin, and one in Bangalore. So, and it is all about how you market and how you pitch with your clients and how you network with people. So if you are a good networker, if you love talking to people, then you can sell yourself very well. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. So psychologists can sell themselves because we are here to empower people, right? And if you have a lot of value to give, definitely people will come to you. No doubt about that. But yes, it will take some time to build that reputation. So you give it 2-3 years for training yourself and then sitting. And as you get experience, definitely you can make it very well. And along with psychology, you can also do any other career, because you can do psychology as a part-time career also. It's not necessary full day you have to do that, right? So when you have 2 things in your hand or 2 or 3 careers in your hand after learning different degree and then taking psychology and then doing MBA or anything else, you can do your major career once, and then in the evenings you can do part-time psychology also. So a lot of people who do 2 careers. The psychology is one career you can do along with any other career. So that's the beauty of having it alongside any other career, because you can just spend 3 or 4 hours and keep that time for your counseling services or your psychological services, and the remaining you can do anything else also. You can do anything else that you are also happy to do. It's not necessary that only psychology needs to be the career that you choose. Yeah. So this is from my side what I have to say in terms of the course and what are the possibilities. So now you have any other questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, Tane has a question.
Yes, Tane.
Yes, ma'am. My question is that is there a sports psychology?
Yes, sports psychology is also there. So, but that is not like you are learning it separately. You have to learn basic psychology first. So, normal psychology you will learn first, and then you can specialize in sports psychology as a separate course, depending on which college will give you that. Okay,
So,
so
ma'am,
sports psychology is again, it's again more therapeutic. It's about willpower and about how you attract and how you can stand in that difficult situation. Okay, so
yes.
as such, sports psychology per se is not there. But then I know certain sports psychologists who have turned from counseling or clinical to sports, because then they use all their clinical practices to help sports people. Okay,
So, ma'am,
yeah.
sports psychology will come under PG or degree?
PG, you don't have to do degree. You can do PG. See, PG psychology is there for all subjects, all the, whether it is sports, whether it is clinical, counseling, forensic, everything PG is there. Degree, if you want, you can take, but degree normally, there is no sports psychology only degree. Karke. That's not there. You have degree, you have 3 years, you will learn everything. All the basic things in psychology, you will learn in the degree. Okay. PG, again, it is a refresher of that, and then you learn a little more. So by doing PG itself, you actually do get everything from degree also. Basics. You don't lose out much. In my opinion, you don't lose out much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tane. Now we have Meera.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
So my question may come off a bit little direct, but how is the remuneration or the income scale of psychologists in India, and how good, yeah, in India and abroad? Because we know it's mental health is very taboo topic in India. There's a lot of stigma around it. So
Yeah.
how's
So,
the situation?
yeah. So if you ask me, as I said, starting as a part-timer is better, because it's
Yeah.
initially it won't be very lucrative. Initially, wherever you go, unless it is a very top corporate. So supposing you, but as a fresher, you may not get into one of the best corporates also, right? As a fresher, you have to first start practicing in the normal, maybe counseling centers or institutes that is having counselors. And also maybe in normal offices where they are okay to take counselors. Even you can work for schools and colleges. Every school needs a psychologist, okay, by the way. So every school needs a psychologist, and normally the pay package initially, even for a normal school, will be 15 to 20,000 to start with. But after that, schools may not pay so much unless it's an international school. But colleges
Right.
do
So
pay well.
it can be pursued as a side hustle, right? Along with if you were supposedly into engineering or technology, and you're
Yes,
really
yes.
passionate about mental health and psychology, so you can do it.
Yeah, so I would say start as a part-timer or start as your second career. And then as you build yourself and as you start getting more experienced in that field, then you can build it as a full-time career, unless you take a doctorate.
Okay.
If you take doctorates,
Counselor,
then you will
just
not
like
have,
as
yeah,
in
then you will not have a
counseling or
problem
anything.
in money, because they will pay you minimum 30,000-40,000 as a PhD holder. But if you have not taken a doctorate and you have just taken a PG, because after PG you can start, nobody will stop you from pursuing the career. So after PG, you can immediately start calling yourself as a psychologist and start helping people. But yes, there it won't be very lucrative. It may be 15-20,000 to start with. And then depending on the college and depending on the experience, you increase your remuneration. But if you go ahead and do a PhD, and then you start pursuing in a hospital or thing, there it is lucrative. You can start with 30-40,000. No problem. You can start at a high price because you have taken a PhD, no? So that's the difference of a person who's taken doctorate in psychology and a person who has not taken that. But yeah, so both levels you can start working, but then ideally if you want to pursue it as a mainstream career, taking a doctorate will be better.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
International degree is also okay, because taking a doctorate doesn't take 5 years. Psychology doesn't take 5 years.
Yeah.
You can take a very specific topic and do it for 2 years and finish it in 2 years also. And
Okay.
yes, going abroad. Yes, abroad, the scope of it's very lucrative. A psychologist has a very lucrative option. But in that case, you should do the PG also abroad. Better. Because otherwise, after doing PG, again, you'll have to do 1 year there. So if it is UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, all that, if you do a PG here in India and then you want to go abroad and pursue psychology, they will not allow you to do that. You will have to go ahead and learn 1 year extra there, and then they will allow you to do. So if you want to do that, better to study 2 years abroad itself, if you have the finance. If you can afford that, then it is like the most lucrative thing, because the most paid jobs in abroad is psychologists. I mean, psychologists and social workers.
Oh,
Yeah, social workers are paid very well, and there is a lot of dearth. And
right.
Indians are accepted and given paid because we do much better than anybody else in this field.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing such beautiful knowledge and insights.
Wonderful. I mean, I'm very happy with the questions. I mean, I think they've asked the very right questions also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
More questions? Ayushi, Tanvi,
Anybody
you
else?
have.
Ma'am,
I
if
need
a
more
fresher,
clarity. Yes,
Yeah.
Ayushi?
yes, ma'am. If a student wants to make a career in this field, what would you advise first?
Yeah, but that's exactly what I said, no? Ayushi, what are your hobbies?
Ma'am, I play ukulele, I sing, I draw and paint.
Okay. So you do everything, right? So the thing is, you should look at first doing a proper career assessment where you find out what are your potentials. Okay, find out your potential so that Sachi ma'am will help you. So find your potential. Are you a visual person? Are you a good music person? See, music and drawing and all, you can do it as a hobby. Would you do it as a career is the question. Would you do it as a career? So would designing be something that you love to do and you will still be happy doing that? And then you can also be a psychologist. So in that case, if you're very good in drawing, very good in singing. Now singing is again a long drawn career to be a musician. If you want to be a musician, then again, it's like a researcher. You have to build a reputation in that before you start getting paid, right, for it. You have to be a performer and then a performer and then perform. And then you have to be a teacher or you have to be a guide. So you have to reach that level of reputation in the music field, right? So then, yes, you will get through. But if it is design, if it is something to do with drawing, painting, I would suggest you can definitely look at visual media or multimedia, where you have n number of opportunities to explore your visual skills. If you are really good in drawing and painting, you should not look at it as a career, because only very few people are really creative in the design area. It's not everybody's job. So creative people should engage in creativity. So do that as a degree, do PG psychology, and do both the careers in life. Do both, no harm. You will get paid double and enjoy both. So your brain can be happy being satisfied in both areas, no? Why only one? Why choose only one? Okay, got it?
Ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you for that
Ma'am,
question.
I also had a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, which colleges would you suggest for PG in India, which are good ones?
Okay. So see, if you look at the top ranking colleges in any place, say, see the education hubs is where the education hub is Pune, Delhi, Chennai, all the metro cities, right? Mumbai.
Yes.
And yeah. So if you ask me, if you can get admission in Tata Institute, there's nothing like it. Then there is no looking back. Tata Institute of Social Sciences is the best place where you can pursue your career in any field like psychology, social sciences, sociology, and all that, because they have the best opportunity. But it is not easy to get admission in Tata Institute. There are so many Tata Institutes, so definitely that would be my first choice. But it doesn't matter, even if you don't get it in that, you can get in any of the good reputed colleges in any of these metro cities. You check in the Google, you will get the top ranking ones, and you can apply in all of them. So apply in all of the top ranking colleges, and in whichever college you get in one of them, you can definitely go ahead and do. Because to be very honest, by doing a degree or a PG in psychology, you can't become an effective psychologist. Okay? You have to learn all you only get theory and you get an understanding. Okay, but if you have to change people, it is very important to learn therapies separately to understand, different alternative practices of the body, mind, and soul, which you normally don't get in any college. Unless, yes, they give you internships and you go and, you learn some therapies during that internship. Yeah. Beyond that, it's okay. I mean, taking in any college. Then why I say Tata Institute? Because the exposure is good. You get to go for a lot of exchange programs. You get to go and take sessions. That kind of stuff is there. It is not about the degree is the same, the books are the same, wherever you learn, the books are the same. But it is the exposure that determines how good that college is. So if you get an exposure to learn meditation, you get an exposure to learn yoga, you get an exposure to do some alternative practices along with your course, good, no? So such colleges are always recommended. Otherwise, as a course, writing an exam and clearing psychology, any college is okay. No big deal. But then the more exposure they give you in that field to change and to experience, those colleges will be recommended. So that's why I said Tata Institute. And then, of course, now in Bangalore, St. Joseph's, Christ College, Mount Carmel, there are a lot of good, the best colleges. Okay. Everywhere you have the best colleges, right? So there, whichever colleges have got a psychology degree, you can go ahead and take that. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tanvi, for that question. Any more questions from anyone? Okay, I have a question from ma'am. Can I ask?
Yes, Sachin.
Okay, I want to know that if a person takes up this field as a career, is the work structure planned, or there have to be a lot of spontaneous on the spot jobs? Like, what is it?
Yeah, the thing is, the work structure can be planned only in terms of scheduling your clients. But after that, what the client comes up with is completely,
Right.
your take. Yeah.
Right.
So the thing is, so each client has very different problems and very different conditions, right? So I guess you being structured inside, because our first thing is mental status exam. So there is a structure that a psychologist learns anyway. So first is to check the mental status of that human being. There are these certain questions that we ask as a part of mental status. There is a structure. There is a general structure. Okay, but that is only up to the level of diagnosis. So once you have a general structure where you take the mental status exam with the client, then you look at talking to the client, where you try to find out what all the client has actually suffered in their life. So they will ventilate. You give them the opportunity to ventilate. For that, you ask them some specific questions. Normally, there is a structure for that also. But after that, after you diagnose, so first is diagnosis. Diagnosis can be something that may not be very easy unless you're very experienced. Because you may not diagnose the right thing. You can diagnose very superficially. So unless you're experienced, you may not get the inner thing, the actual problem. So that is why then we take sessions. But when the session starts, it can go completely different. Because sometimes when I take sessions for a client, it is not what I wanted to take, because that is not what they come with. They come with so many other issues that without solving that, we cannot take our thing. So we may have something that we want to take for the client in terms of helping them, but that is not what they come with. They come with so many other things. Without solving that, we will not be able to handle, do what we want. So many a times it is very unprecedented. I have seen a client who have just come and they can't even speak, talk. They're just lying down and crying, just crying. So with that person, you can't do anything. So there you have to be spontaneous and you have to look at what is required for that client at that time to make that client peaceful. So first is bringing the emotion down, handling the client's emotion, and only then logical brain will work. So without handling the emotional brain, you can't handle the logical brain. So then there are so many practices we may have to choose which will work for that person. So their spontaneity will be required and your composure will be required. You cannot get panicked.
So a lot of emotional quotient, emotional abilities, and balance
Very high
personality.
emotional balance is the demand on the psychologist at that time, because you cannot freak out.
Right.
And
right.
you may see a lot of horrible things the client does, but you cannot freak out.
Yeah. Thank you for that sharing. I'll quickly ask from the audience, any questions from anyone? No? Okay. To summarize what we have heard today from Dr. Meera, and thank you for that beautiful insight. And what we see is interest and aptitude together combined will decide what our potential is. And based on that, we need to choose our careers. Psychology can be taken as a second option in PG, rather than taking as a direct career, unless you are very keen in that and 100% confident. If you are confident, please go with it. There's no restriction in that.
Yeah.
And in addition to academic studies, you have to upskill yourself by doing various therapies and courses outside academic curriculum. That's what we have been telling regularly to all our students. Just studying and reading books will not help you. Then you also shared about different types of psychological branches: counseling psychology, clinical, organizational, and forensic psychology. Also, we have, in case you want to become a clinical psychologist, minimum qualification required is M.Phil. If you really want to get good remuneration at your end.
Yes.
Yeah. Then psychology is a career which involves a lot of people orientation. You need to be a lot of talking, interpersonal skills, communication skills. Also, you need to do a lot of reading at the back end as well, because you have to continuously upskill yourself.
Yes,
Continuous learning is definitely required.
absolutely.
And yes, coming to the planning aptitude, you need to have balanced personality, where you need to take care of both the diagnostic part, which requires planning, and spontaneous part, handling the cases as and when the people come in with. Yeah. Did I miss out on anything, ma'am?
No, I think you pretty much said it very well. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So with this note, I would like to thank you for being over here, taking out your time from your schedule. When I called you up right now, just 2 minutes back, you were in one of these cases handling.
Yeah.
And now again, you have a session.
Yes,
So
I have
thank,
a session at 4. Yeah.
yeah, thank you everyone, and we'll not waste
you
our
so
time,
much,
and
yeah.
we'll end the session.
God bless all of you. May you do very well in life. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am. Thank
Wonderful
you, ma'am.
session. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.